Without further ado, I think we should just get started. I'd love to kind of open it with the why. I think some of the problems that we're trying to solve here are to build relationships with people, to build trust with people, many of whom are strangers, frankly, on the internet, whom we don't know. They don't know us. The only thing that they can learn and see about us is information that they find on the internet about us or about information that we share with them. So, we always encourage folks to get ahead of the information problem, to get ahead of the trust problem, and to share the things that they might be curious about preemptively, even before sometimes they ask them, who we are, what our value proposition is, what problem are we trying to solve? Why are we validated? Who uses us? What are the testimonials? What is that proof? The very tangible information that people need to hear and see and learn about us in order for them to build trust with us. A lot of people talk about this idea of know, like, trust. And I would beg to differ on this, that everything actually starts with trust. The nature of the internet right now is noisy, and it's also very untrustworthy. There's a lot of bad actors in the space, and it's made people like you and me, just a little bit more cautious. I don't want to click on that. I don't want to fill out that form. I don't want to book a time in that calendar. I don't want to engage with this person because I don't know what's going to happen. The way that we can solve this is with video. By sharing videos, whether they're extremely simple in nature or they're more intricate screen videos, we build that relationship. We build a parasocial relationship, in fact. I feel like I have a connection with people that I watch videos of on LinkedIn or YouTube. I've never met them, I've never spoken to them, but I feel like I can trust them. And if I get them in a call, what happens is that I trigger this trust neuron. And I feel like I can trust them because if they're so public on the internet, or if they've sent me a video message, that how could they be hiding something? And that just opens my heart. It opens my mind. So in this webinar, we're so fortunate here to have two experts with us. And I'd like to just pass that off here.
Great. Thank you for that, Ruben. All right, guys. So we're going to go ahead. I'm going to jump into this super fast demo here. We're going to cover some of the very latest and greatest of Dubb's tech with a little quick, easy workflow for you guys to kind of understand. And then we're going to actually jump into the meat of the training. So here we go. Let's go ahead and share it up. Let me go ahead and show you guys what we got here. So what Ruben was talking about was using the power of video to expand your messaging, expand your business, build trust, shorten sales cycles, and all those components. And really, there's a lot of moving parts when it comes to utilizing video. And this is really what Dubb's done well, is condense all these moving parts and different softwares and components into one simple, easy to use tool that really makes all this possible. So multiple different components here, like the creation of the videos, customizing the videos, distributing the videos, all those pieces kind of work independently with each other. At least historically they have, and now Dubb allows them to all work together synergistically. So let's go into the first part that I mentioned, which is the creation. We have a Chrome extension, we have a mobile app, we have direct integration in some of the most popular tools, such as LinkedIn, HubSpot, Outlook, Gmail, Salesforce, you name it. So this is the Dubb Chrome extension. And this guy is used for making videos, basically anything on the computer. So what I'm going to do is show you guys a quick screen recording here. You can see my webcam down here. It can be my profile picture. It can be just my voice, whatever I want. And if I hit record, now we are selecting the screen we want to record. And after this little countdown, we're actually now creating the video. So we would say, hey, Paul, I wanted to reach out to you here. This message is also really important, the one I'm doing, by the way, but I'm just spitballing the script. So I'd say, reaching out to you. So we had a bunch of mutual connections. Maybe we should talk for reasons that I didn't actually say in this call. But that's the idea. And then you can see there's some on-screen controls. There's some keyboard shortcuts, some options to make that video a little bit more entertaining than just a flat video. So you can pause it, you can annotate it, all kinds of cool stuff you can do in the video itself. And then now there's also the mobile app. So if you guys aren't big on the computer, if you're out on the go, you can use the mobile app to record videos. You can add existing videos from YouTube. Basically, we can take video from any source you have, a phone, a DSLR, GoPro, whatever. You can take the video and upload it to Dubb, or you can create it from scratch, just like I showed you here. And then now what Dubb does is this second component, which is packaging that video up. So we talked a little bit about this. You can see here, I took a few seconds to make the video, and this is that second component of the customization. Now Dubb, what it did is it added the logo here, added the watermark, the background image, the play button, play window, and then some of the more important elements down here, the playlist. so that your videos kind of automatically play back to back. What happened with this one is actually based on my preset here, it added these 2 videos after this one. So I say, hey, Paul, wanted to reach out to you real quick. Let me know what you think about the video after this one. And right at the end, it goes into that next video where this video can be a whole number of things. In our case, it's an explainer video here, because when I'm reaching out to someone, it can take me quite a bit of time to explain everything that Dubb can do. And instead of having to do that over and over, I can just create a really custom quick video just for Paul here, where I say, hey, Paul, I wanted to reach out to you because you're special. And then I can also leverage that pre-recorded video along with that. So I'm getting the best of both the custom video and the pre-recorded content automatically. And then you can see here, different stuff can go in here: testimonials, social proof, case studies, explainer videos. Many of the things that Ruben was talking about here in the beginning about building trust, preemptively answering questions, that's the type of content that goes here in the playlist. Now, below the playlist is the call to action buttons, which is, again, super critical here for when we're creating videos. The whole reason we're creating these is to create engagements, create conversions and activities. And that's really where these buttons come in. Having the buttons do really anything we want them to. They can book a time in your calendar. They can download attachments, fill out forms. They can send you video testimonials. Literally anything you can think of that you want these buttons to do, that you want someone to do after having watched your video, we can set them up to do so. And you guys saw this whole page got built automatically. And this was all part of a template here that we call a preset. And you see if I switch the preset, it changes everything about the video page: different background, different color scheme, different videos, different call to action buttons, you name it. And so that is how Dubb customizes these videos at scale and rapidly and efficiently, is using that preset feature. So this is the customization. Of course, you can do anything else you want to as well. You can change out individual videos, individual buttons, individual backgrounds and designs. But the idea is to really be efficient and use that preset feature. So those are 2 quick first parts here. We talked about the creation, and then we talked about the customization, which is basically every part of the video here you can customize. And then the next part here is the distribution. So now we're actually, the video is recorded, it's all packaged up. Now we're ready to send it out. And so what Dubb does here is we have, again, direct integration with all of your favorite channels. So if you're on Outlook, direct integration there, a little Dubb button right inside of this. Same thing with Gmail, HubSpot, Salesforce, all your favorite tools, there's a direct integration there. And you can see, here's that video that I made for Paul. And when I go to actually put this into his email, this is what he's going to see in his inbox. It's going to have his LinkedIn profile there. It's going to have something of his that he's immediately going to recognize. So whether this is in their LinkedIn inbox or their email or their social media or text message, this is typically something much more interesting than plain text or a templatized email or even a personalized email, because they can immediately recognize that that's something of theirs. It's going to pique their interest. It's moving. It's a video. Like the click rates on these personalized videos are astronomically higher than things like a templatized message. So that's the other part here. The first part, distribution with direct integration. So if you're in Gmail, Outlook, LinkedIn, wherever you're at, Dubb button right inside there for instant insertion into your message. Same thing, like as I mentioned on LinkedIn, click message here, Dubb button right inside there, allowing you to insert videos into there with just 1 click. Dubb button there, or 2 clicks, I suppose. And then there's your library. So that's the first way, direct integration. The other way here is universal copy and paste. So when I say universal, I literally mean universal. Any messaging platform you're using, whether it's a social media or a CRM or LinkedIn or text message, anything you can think of, I can press this copy for email button and now paste this video into that interface. I know I just have Outlook here, but it's regardless of the tool, the example is the same. So you name it, I can press copy and paste the video in there just like that. Universal copy and paste method. So direct integration, universal method, and then also Dubb has built-in marketing automation. So kind of fancy word there. All that means is the ability to send out emails and text messages in either bulk. So here's an example of that. Many of you guys actually got the invitation to this webinar through one of our bulk sends. So we sent this video to 29,000 people using Dubb's automation. And you can see here, we can see specifically who watched it. I can filter it by who clicked, who opened. All that stuff is available here, really granular reporting. And then in addition to bulk sending, we also have automated sending. So that means I can send out a series of emails or text messages. Here's an example of that. This one sends out 1, 2, 3 text messages automatically based on the rules that I've built. So this is the final way that Dubb can send the videos out, is through automation and campaigns. And again, these can be text messages or emails or both. So this is that last method here, bulk sending, automation. So just a super quick recap before we jump into the training, guys. Again, questions, we love them. Please ask them. What we talked about was the creation component, Chrome extension, mobile app, direct integrations. Then we talked about the customization of the videos, which again happens automatically. We want these video pages to be built off of our presets, but if you need to, you can always go back and make individual edits to the video and have it say and do whatever you need it to. But like we recommended, the preset feature just makes it so much easier. So that's the customization. The last part, distribution. Universal method. So if we get questions that say, is this button going to work in this system? The answer is yes. So preemptively answering your questions, will copy for email work for your system? Yes, it will. And then the last part here is the universal method, and then the bulk sending, automated workflows, large email campaigns, either one of those. So that's it, guys. That's a super quick recap. Let's go ahead. I'm going to stop my share here, and we're actually going to dive in to the reason we're all attending today, which is some super high value training from Paul. So let's go ahead. I'm going to tee it off to Paul here, and let's do it. Paul, go ahead, hit your mic on, and then I'm going to shut off my camera here so you're ready to take the stage.
Excellent. So thanks, Darius, and thanks, Ruben, for the opportunity. Very excited. I'll just share my screen. Excellent. Brilliant. Well, look, I don't know about everyone on the webinar, but I was certainly writing down some tips myself, which I'm going to take and employ. And that's what I love about Dubb. It just continues to innovate. And I think, I got on fairly early with the platform. And every time I've reached out to both Ruben and Darius, I've definitely got a feature update, which is fantastic. So today, I want to really go into the detail of how do you get more clients on LinkedIn using the power of Dubb. So I'm going to give you absolute practical advice. So everything I'll show you today is what I use and what my community use to get results. Okay, so it's going to be very much fact-based, and I'll give you as much as I can. So a little bit about me. So I, for my sins, worked for Coca-Cola for 18 years, started as a sales rep, ended up being a director. I bought multi-billion-dollar companies. I was a bit of an entrepreneur within the business, and basically anything they couldn't fix, they gave it to me. So it was a fantastic company, fantastic career. The product, maybe not quite as good, and I'll tell you why in a moment that was the case. So I had to leave for health reasons, and that's part of my story. And I started doing consulting and also coaching, and for some of the biggest brands in the world. And it was great, but I realized there was a reason I left corporate, and I wanted to start my own business. So that's what I did. So I went and started my own business. It was an advisory and an outsourcing business. And then I also set up with a partner, a tech business, and it was fantastic. But up to about 2016, my health started to decline even further. So it was time to divest my outsourcing business. I stayed as a chair as the tech business. And then we were very fortunate in 2019 to actually exit that business, which was great, obviously pre-COVID. So that was fantastic. And I continue now to mentor people, 7-figure service-based owners, and also run a global community on LinkedIn. And when I say on LinkedIn, it's actually helping people to get clients on LinkedIn. And that's what I'm going to show you exactly today, what we do, a real behind the scenes view. So this was the moment that changed my life. So this is myself and mum, Moira, me at 18, and I went and got some tests after mum about 3 years before that had a massive heart attack. She'd passed away 3 times on the operating table. We did some history. Her father died at 12 when apparently had a heart attack, but it was all kidney related. So on that day, I was told that I had polycystic kidney disease, and at some point I'd have kidney failure. But I chose that day that I was going to control everything I could and become high performing. And that's what I've dedicated my life to. I've dedicated my life to not just be high performing myself, but also to help others be high performing as well. What I want to do is show you 3 ways to get clients on LinkedIn. So I'm sure that you're authentic and want to help, right? So as Ruben said before, unfortunately, a lot of the people that aren't as authentic as us spoil it for the ones that are, right? And it's really difficult to cut through, but I want to show you a way to do that today. And you're great when you get clients, you get great results for clients. But the hard thing is, how do you get more clients? Right. And I know referrals was a great way. And most of us pre-COVID just relied on referrals. B2B businesses, if you're a B2B business, about 80% normally comes from referrals. But that has become a lot harder these days. One reason is because, people are really trying to just look after themselves at the moment. So they're not referring as much. The second thing is you're probably not doing as much work and getting results as you used to. So that's having a bit of an impact. But the other great thing, though, is that most people relied on referrals in a geographic area. You don't need to do that anymore, okay? You can actually expand your reach by using platforms like Zoom and obviously platforms like Dubb to expand that reach. So that's what I want to show you today. And I do believe there is a better way, and it's using video, as Ruben spoke about at the start, and also Darius has given some great examples. And of course, there is a better platform, and we all know what that is. It's Dubb. So what I'd love to do is help you gain 3 to 5 new clients a month using LinkedIn. And that's exactly what I'm going to show you. So here's the model that I use, and it's pretty simple. It's research, it's relationships, and replies. Okay. And what I'm going to do is go through each of these individually and give you, as I said, exactly what I use. So you will have questions, and what I'll do is I'll have the Q&A open if there's obvious ones that I can see. But if not, please, I'm going to have a Q&A at the end, so we will get a chance for you to do those, but also just put your questions in and we'll get those at the end, and I definitely will reply to your specific questions. Here we go. So the first thing is qualification. Okay. So for some of you, you may have used automation. I know I've used automation and just tried the quantity route. And to be honest, it didn't work. Yes, it's a bit like doing a lot of paid where you get huge amounts of leads, which looks great. But when you actually qualify and make sure that they're your ideal client, it's normally a high unqualification rate. So, I've had up to 90% unqualified. So I think that, it's the classic garbage in, garbage out. But the most important thing is to really qualify people. And when I say qualified people, this is typically using Sales Navigator. So if you haven't used Sales Navigator before, it's a more sophisticated version of LinkedIn, and it gives you better research ability. So you can really, it's like a sales CRM database. So you can do it more. And the way that I like it from a video platform point of view, it's a bit like Use Loom versus Dubb. Okay, Use Loom's got some okay features, and that's what the standard version of LinkedIn has. You've got some searchability, but if you really want to get those great features like what Darius showed before, you need a more sophisticated, and that's what Sales Navigator is. And it depends, but pricing range is sort of from 79 to 99 USD a month. But so what do we do? So what I do is I actually have my team that qualify all of my leads. And we have certain questions that they go through and they do a yes, no. We actually have this in a platform called Airtable that helps us monitor all of this. And we go through now. Unfortunately, some things are fairly easy because you can get it out of LinkedIn, but some things are more subjective. Okay. And that's where you've got to train and really start to find patterns in who you're doing. So for me, those orange ones is, are they a thought leader? So how do you define whether someone's a thought leader or not? Because I want someone that wants to be the face of the business, and I help them build their sales and their team so that they can be more the face of the business. How often are they posting? Are they posting good quality content? What does that mean? Have they got mutual connections with me? Have they got more than 50 mutual connections? So there is, the people that they're surrounding themselves with are the same people that I am. And what's their design like? Yes, they're high performing, which I've got over in column F, but what's their design look like? So, what I'd recommend is you start to think about your qualification process to make sure that you're getting the right people, because as in most things, it's the better you qualify, the easier the conversion is going to be when you use video down the track. And that's what I'm going to show you. So that's a real key one. Now, if you want to know more detail about that, just put in the Q&A and I'll definitely get back to you. So then you've done the qualification, and this works twofold, right? So one is that how you qualify people, you do some of this research, but also when you're preparing to actually send a video, which I'll show you in the next section, which is the relationship section, you want to do similar research. So I'll go through it. So the first one is your filter in Sales Navigator, which I've shown you to get a great qualification. Then you look at their about section. And unfortunately for a lot of people, their about section isn't as good as it should be. Okay. So, you may be thinking at the moment you're a little bit embarrassed about yours. That's completely fine. A lot of people are, and a lot of people still write it in first person, as in, this is what I did, this is my career, etc. People don't really care about you per se, as everyone says they care about them, right? So you want to write to them. Okay. So use you a lot, etc. So if you want to find out more about that, Darius already showed you my profile. Have a look at that. But you want to try to get themes for the about. Then their experience. So go back and look at their experience. One of the things you're looking to do is give them a compliment when you do the video. So I'll show you that in a moment, but you just want to collect the experience. You want to look at their posts. So what are some key things? They might have launched a book lately. They might have had an award. They might have just brought on a new team member. So what are the things they're posting about? Also have a look at their company page. Now, most people don't pay a lot of attention to their company page. And certainly I wouldn't recommend posting on your company page. It really doesn't do a lot of value. You're best to post as an individual on your profile. But it's just good to see the about section and also see how many people they've got. So for me, I'm really looking for people that have got a team. And look, the team could be anywhere between sort of 2 and 20 people. So that's a key thing that I'm looking at, and that helps you really nail your ideal client. And then you can also look at their website as well. So you've qualified them, you've done the research. Now it's time to actually start that relationship. So that's the second part. And the first thing to do is to pre-engage. Okay, so you might have heard about pre-engagement before. Ultimately, what it is going and liking and commenting where it's relevant to someone before you send a connection request. Okay, and you're just doing that on their posts. Now, I'm very fortunate. This post is an okay post for me, but last week I got a post, I get up to 100,000 views a post. I get lots of likes and comments, but that's not usual. We run a community where we work really hard to get that result, but most people don't get a lot of engagement. So you will be noticed. Okay. So if you like it and you go and put a well-educated comment, it's amazing how much someone will go, okay, that's great. They'll look at your profile, right? And that's why it's really important to have your profile looking great. And then what you can do is send the connection request, right? So then you go and do that. And the most important thing of the connection request is it's all in the wording. Believe me, we've tried thousands of different scripts to test and iterate. And when I say, thousands, it's literally, we've got 80 people in our community and we all look at different scripts, but this is the one that I find works the best. So you need to tailor this for you, but I enjoy connecting with high performing business owners. So that's who my target is. So you could just insert whoever your target market is. Remember, you've done the research to work out that is them. Okay. And then would you be open to connecting? The most powerful word on LinkedIn is open. Okay. You want them to actually have the permission of whether they do it or not. So, most people will look at that and actually go, okay, that's okay. But there's a killer thing. There's one additional thing that you should add. So just have a think about that for a moment. What do you think I'm going to say that you would add to the bottom of your LinkedIn connection request? So just even if you want to put it in the chat, that'd be great. So everyone else can see what you're thinking. So just do that. I don't know how quick of a typer you are. Can't wait till you can just talk and it's perfect. I don't know about you guys, but I can't get that at the moment. Even with Google, it's not perfect. Okay, all right. So drum roll, here it is. I will send you a personal video to introduce myself, okay? So you're setting up the fact that you're going to send the video. And I think that breaks it from just a typical connection request. I don't know, for you, but for me, that's a bit of intrigue there. Okay, I'm going to get a personalized video. It's just not someone else that's going to spam me. So I think that's really important. And then you've got the video script yourself. So obviously we're using Dubb for this. But the first thing is I have their LinkedIn profile up and the message that I sent them open, right? So there's no confusion as to where they're getting this message. And I'm also telling them how I found them. Okay, so why did I select them? If depends on your business, you might have their website open, not their LinkedIn profile, right? But if you're reaching out on LinkedIn, I highly recommend doing that. The next is just say, hi, I'm Paul Higgins. I just want to put a face to the name, right? You just want to casually, as Ruben said at the start, you just want to show that you're human, okay? And you do want them to trust you. And a great way of actually building that trust is just be the authentic you, okay? It's no harder than that. And then the next thing is you want to compliment them. So the research that you've done, so whether it's a book, whether it's a new team member, whether it's a great post and they've got really good engagement, whether it's something that, they've been in the press lately, or they build a great product like Dubb, just compliment them. I think that's a great way to start. The next is I always talk about, look, LinkedIn doesn't tell the whole story. Okay. So, you've probably looked at my profile when you accepted the connection request. I've definitely looked at yours, but it doesn't really tell me the true story of where you are at the moment. And then what I asked them is, would you be open for a call? And as Darius said, there's what I do is one of the call to actions is to book a call, 30 minutes, right? So not everyone will book that call straight away. And I'll show you what we do when they don't book the call, but then you're just saying it. And once again, you're using that magic word open. And then what you're doing is saying some value adds there. So that's the playlist, right? So for a lot of the outreach I'm doing, it's on, a lot of the things that I'm helping them with is LinkedIn, right? So I'll often look at their profile and I'll look at their posts and I'll just say, look, I've seen your posting, you've got great graphics, et cetera, but, it's criminal the amount of engagement you're getting, okay? So it's completely up to you, but there's some videos below that they'll pre-play. You can fast, do it to 2 times speed because I know I talk a bit slow. And it's completely optional if you want to watch those, right? But I have those there as the preset. And once again, it's just adding value, right? You're not selling here at any point. You're just adding value. You're building that relationship. And then what you do is say, I've chosen to do this on send you an email. And I think this is really important. Like for most of you, do you find LinkedIn messages absolute a pain in the bum? Okay. I'm very lucky. I don't go into LinkedIn because my team do it all for me. But if you're someone that goes in, LinkedIn, unfortunately, is just not great for that. It's really difficult to search them, find them, etc. And most people find the same thing. So what I do is say, look, and what I'll do on the video is actually show their contact information. I'll actually show their email. And most times that's personal. So I'll say, look, I know this is your personal email, but this is the one that you've made public on your LinkedIn profile. If you are interested to find out more, please reply with your business email. Now, I can use Fandom Buster. I can use Product. I can't remember Product Hunt. I can use Find that Lead. I can use lots of software to actually get their business email. But I don't want to do that because I want to build that trust. I want to be authentic. Okay, so you do that. And then the last one is you just say, look, if you've got higher priorities at the moment and this is not the right time for you, that's completely fine. Just let me know. Okay. So that's the video script that I use. Now I do adapt it and I don't do it like a robot, but the way that I keep myself to these points is very simple. And wow, what a great looking bloke that guy is. Anyway, what I do is just have a little sticky. I use a Mac, so however you want to do it. But I've got my camera now. So if I look in the middle of my screen, it's here. If I'm looking at you and the camera, I'm looking up a bit. And what I do is just have the sticky right up near the camera. And then, in Dubb, or if, the people that have used Dubb before, you can actually do the full screen, or you can just do one tab. What I select is just to record one tab. So all they're seeing is their profile, but what I'm watching is the notes, and then I just have those notes and I go through those points. Now, the key thing is here is how long do you think these videos should be? Okay. And the key here, and unfortunately, I'm just trying to get to the chat and the Q&A, but when you've got,
I was going to say, I think people got some good ideas. Mostly everyone's saying under a minute, like 30 seconds, 60 seconds, under a minute, under 2. That's most of the guesses here. It is hard to get into the Q&A from when you're doing a screen share. So I can.
Great. Excellent. Thanks, Darius. And you're dead on. I try to keep it to a minute. Okay. Perfect. Maybe it's a minute 10 if it bleeds a little, but a minute is absolutely spot on. So you're dead right. Okay.
Good job, everyone. Yeah, everyone that guessed was pretty much spot on. So either you've been paying attention or good job.
Great. And then obviously I record it using the Chrome extension on Dubb, and that's what I love. It's so easy. You just have the profile up, hit the Chrome extension, hit the single tab, and away you go. And then this is the killer thing. So I know some of the pre-Q&A, so some of the people that registered, I sent out, what questions would you like? And some of them were like, how do I get someone to open an email or watch a video because they don't know me at all, right? I'm a complete stranger to them. So one of the things is when you send the connection request, you dropped a breadcrumb, which is, I'm going to send you a personal video. And then here, the way that I name the video is hi, a personal, and I say personal, not personalized anymore, video for you. Enjoy, Paul. And what I do in the description, this is just a bit of a value add that I do. I have my team, I just put their LinkedIn profile. So what my team do in my sales CRM, which I use Copper as a sales CRM, they're tracking everyone that I've sent a video to, everyone that's opened it, etc. So all the great diagnostics and the analytics of Dubb, I'm actually integrating into my Copper to actually see if this is working or not. And then, as we spoke before, call to actions and playlists. So typically, this is my default setting. And what I'll do is normally just have the 30-minute chat. If someone I think would be a perfect guest for my podcast, I might mention that, and then I'd have the paulhigginsmentoring.com, or I'd have the direct booking link for my podcast. And then the playlist, like I said, one is profile, one is engagement, but you can be creative with this. I think, the most important thing here is it's a value add. So I think case studies are great, but I think a case study is probably too early in this. Remember, it's only the second time you've connected with this person other than the connection request. So, I would keep those for future and some of the follow-up emails, but, just try to add as much value as possible. And then on your email. So I actually love what Darius showed before. I'm going to do that. At the moment, I'm actually going in to my email. And this is the copy that I'm using at the moment in the email. So I've created a personalized video for you, as mentioned in my LinkedIn connection request. Okay. So once again, you know that you've sent it, but for them, there's so much happening in their life. So it's really important just to keep it or to relate that back to that breadcrumb, right? Thanks for accepting. It's approximately 1 minute. Okay. So you guys nailed it before. You want to let them know because they're thinking, oh my God, I just don't have time to watch a 5-minute video or whatever. Because I think a lot of people still default video to a longer time. And here, no pitch, right? Because what are they all expecting? A pitch. So just, call the elephant out in the room. There's no pitch. And then the other thing, because some people go, oh, look, I don't know, you've got the thumbnail, but I don't know if this is spam or not. I think video still gets a bit of a bad rap that way. So I say it's safe to open and even safer to watch, right? And you use a little bit of humor there. So that's that. Then at the bottom, always just say you can change the quality? Because Darius, you might be able to help everyone here, but I find it often defaults to 360. And I know there's 720 and 1080 that you can have the quality of the video. I send them at 360 as well, because obviously with email, it's smaller size, I'm assuming, but I'm not technical in that way. And then I also say you can increase the speed. So, the little control button on the right, watch it at 2 times speed. So, a minute video ends up being 30 seconds. So
we have some defaults for what screen recordings are webcam only. There's some different kind of rules that it does to help with deliverability and load times and things like that. Just so you guys know, there's some internal kind of rules based on what type of video you're making. Webcam ones typically result to that 360 by default.
Yeah, great. Okay, excellent. So a little bonus here, right? So we've talked a lot about what we're doing this thing, but what LinkedIn love is that you're constantly rewarding or talking to your connections. So what they don't want is you just sending outbound connection requests, but not also working with your current connections. Okay, so that's very important to the algorithm. So one simple way you can do it is send them a happy birthday, and nothing better than Dubb, okay, to do that. So I've got my team doing this. So every time I get a birthday notification, my team just send this. It's about, I think it's 38 seconds. It's just saying, happy birthday, great day, etc. But once again, this happens when I'm asleep, but this is building value and my connection base, and LinkedIn love that. So that's a little bit of a bonus. So we've gone through research, we've gone through relationships. Now we're going to go through replies. So I can't see the chat, but just what's your view on what a hot potato is? Okay, I'd love to know. Obviously, with my accent, I'm trying to think what my title is. What nationality do you think that would be, Darius? Oh, Darius.
Sorry, I had my mic off. Yeah, so I was like, I know you're. What was the question exactly? I know.
Yeah, the question. So my alias at the moment. What nationality do you think that is?
Well, Australian?
No, Paul Higgins is Australian, but I think that's Spanish or something like that, right? Yeah. But look, I don't know this.
Oh, you mean the alias, your little hot potato guy here? Sorry, I had some Zoom stuff into the screen. You're referring to your little alias here. Yeah, I'm not sure.
No, sorry. My alias on what in this webinar?
Yeah,
I am.
Ina. Got it. Yes.
Yes. Anyway, it's so. I just don't know if this translates to the country that you're listening to. I saw at the start that a lot of you are in the US, but the hot potato here is quite common. So if you know what it is, type it in. But what it is basically this. It's just asking short, open questions, okay? So as we talked about before, would you be open connecting is an example of a hot potato, but it's typically a one line, and it's always a question, right? Because what you want to do is actually understand more. And I'm going to show you in a moment exactly how we do that. But please don't go from all the great work where you've sent a personal video, you've actually if they haven't, and this is under the scenario, they haven't booked a call, right? So you've still got some work to do to get them in that call. The last thing you want to do is say, hey, I sent you a video. I saw you watched it. Would you like to jump on a call? Or, have you had a chance to book a call? No. What you want to do is, once again, build that trust and ask some open questions. So the first one is, what happens if you just can't help someone, right? So what I normally ask someone is, what's your key focus? What's your marketing focus at the moment? Something that is just short, sharp, and it allows them to give me an open reply. And if I can't help them, I just say, look, or if it's not your specialty, right? So yes, you've reached out, you thought it's your ideal client, but it's just not right for you. Ask them if they've got someone for that specialty. So look, that's not my specialty, but if you've got someone helping you in that area at the moment, if they say no, then ask if they'd be open to a referral, okay, or an introduction. And if they say yes, then refer them 3 people, right? So you're adding value. Now, the great thing there is you don't know how that's going to pay you back in the future, right? But you might not be the right person for them, right? Or you may not be able to help them, But you know what? They've got a lot of people that are, and they'll remember that. So that's one thing you can do. But what happens if you can help them, right? So once again, ask if they have someone that is helping them with that. Don't go straight into, I can help people. I help people with that. I can help you with that. Ask, because they might already be working with a mentor or whatever, you do. They might already have someone, right? And if they don't, just say, I help people with X. So normally, it's just very clear. So I help people to get clients on LinkedIn, as an example, if that's one of the things that they're struggling with. Then ask them once again if they're open for a call. And then you go into a video chat. So the platform that we use is Zoom, whatever platform you're using, it's really important. And the other thing is, I think, is to have a good scheduling tool. So we talked before about book a call. I use Book Like a Boss. That's a fantastic scheduling platform. There's Calendly, there's others. But I think what you want to do is take out as much of the work as possible for you, your team, and most importantly for your clients. So just have that. So let's do a recap here. So we went through the research. We talked about it's really important to pre-qualify people, and then it's really important to do the research, both to make sure that you're picking the right person. In particular, my team do that. And then also that you've got enough information to make the video of quality. And it becomes a bit of an art. And to be honest, what I would recommend is just start doing the videos. Don't even share them with a client, but get comfortable and natural to get to that minute with all the research that you've got. Okay. And it does become an art, and you just need to practice and practice. You won't be perfect straight up. Next is build the relationship. Okay. So we talked about the pre-engagement. We talked about then what you do in the video script, okay, and how you send it. And those little messages make all the difference. What you call the video, what you call, the subject headline in the email, those things really make a difference. And we, gave you the script, and that script may not be perfect for you, right? So, I know it's working for me, but it might be perfect for you. So you can play with that. And what I have is a document where I just record all the variations. And then lastly, we've got the replies. And the most important thing here is you want to continue to build that trust. All right. You want it to happen all on email. The other thing that I didn't mention, but the benefit of having it all on emails, you can actually see when they've opened it if you're using the right sales CRM. So you actually want to look at those replies. And you want to, ultimately, all you're doing is getting them to a call. Okay. That's all you're trying to do. You're not trying to sell them direct. Now, depends on your ticket value. So I'm selling high ticket items. So that's why I'm investing in this way. If you're selling a low ticket item, you might want to use a custom video, not personalized. But this is really if you're selling high ticket items, which I can't, find out now what everyone's doing, but I'm assuming a lot of you are. And then obviously we're using Dubb. So, I've given you as much value as I possibly can today, but there is more information I've got on how you actually get 3 to 5 clients on LinkedIn. There's a free masterclass. If you go to blgclick.com, so that's blgclick.com, you can watch it, and it really goes through the profile, the posting, the possibilities. So today we've covered a lot of the possibilities, but we haven't covered, what is an ideal profile. Also, how do you get posting? And there's one algorithm trick that if you learn that, it'll make a huge difference to your posting. And why is posting important? And why profile? Because when you do the outreach, you need, people will go and look at your profile, right? So that needs to be the best representation of you. And the other thing is they'll go and look at your post to see if you're a thought leader, right? They want to see if you're getting engagement. And, if you go to someone and you see that you can't see the views, but you know that they're getting lots of likes and comments, that you think, okay, this person must know what they're doing. So it just helps to build that level of trust. So once again, just go to blgclick.com. So now open to questions. And I know that a few of them came in prior, so I've got those to answer specifically. But Darius, if you could just help me a little here, whatever questions come through, more than happy to answer them. And I'll just turn off my screen share and just go to normal video.
Great. Okay, perfect. First of all, thank you so much, Paul. I mean, this is like, I'm already, my interest is peaked. I want to know the algorithm secret. I want to know what's next. So maybe we'll chat after here. And again, thank you so much for that training. Hopefully you guys were paying attention. We have the recording available, but again, this is your chance live. We do have some questions to get to as well, so let's jump into that. But let's go ahead. Again, this is your chance, guys. Fire the questions away. We're going to start into them. Maybe we'll start with this most recent one I just saw in the chat. It was one directed directly to you, Paul. Here we go. Question for Paul from Peter DeLay. Paul, I have an established agency which does digital marketing advertising or digital advertising, but I'm also launching a low-ticket SaaS business at maybe $100 per month average. Is the time spent for this worth the time of effort? So I guess the question is it worth his time and effort for him to create these custom videos, like the approach that you're talking about here, this LinkedIn approach for $100 per month clients? We can both answer that one. Yeah. So Paul, go ahead, give your take, and then I'll give my take too, because we're SaaS. So go ahead.
Yeah, great. So thanks for your question, Peter. So in short, look, I think for your high ticket agency services, the personalized videos, yes, definitely worth it. I think for the SaaS product, I think, definitely posting is really important. So the people that like and comment on the post, then you can have customized videos that you reply to them. So that is the way that you could tie it in for your $100 SaaS product. So I would do your personalized for your higher ticket, and I do more custom. Personalized and custom, and then I do more generic, which is your presets, etc., for your lower ticket.
Exactly. It's the same thing here. So, I mean, it doesn't sound as much when you think of, $100 per month, but if you have a solid product, that could end up resulting in far more than even your high ticket client, right? They stick around for a year or two and you're well off. So in that SaaS model, like what Paul said, they're having pre-recorded videos. Having those initially is going to be the way to go. But then, of course, when you have the hand raises, when you have those opportunities to follow up maybe more personally, if you have the resources for it, and you can close a $100 a month deal by sending one video, that definitely can usually make sense, depending, again, on your resources and your ability to create. If it's a big ask, like you need to set up a studio and you do all these things in order for you to create a video, then there's a time and place for those things. But as Paul mentioned, having the pre-recorded assets, especially for your SaaS, you're going to have so many opportunities there, frequently asked questions and demos and explainers and all kinds of stuff. So having all those under your belt will tremendously help with your SaaS offer.
Okay. I had a thing I wanted to.
Ruben's got a piece too here. Ruben, I think your volume's a little low.
Oh, okay. Is that better?
It's okay. It's not great.
Okay.
Sometimes there you go.
That?
Beautiful.
Okay. All right. So simple equipment, guys. Sometimes it's better. Okay. So here's my question. So one of the questions that I answered in the Q&A was, what are some recommendations with centered around automation, LinkedIn, automated messages? There's a lot of tools out there that folks are using. I would say that it's a somewhat controversial topic. Some people opt out of this entirely because they find that it's too risky. They don't want to get kicked off LinkedIn. They don't want to come off as someone that's using automation or kind of canned messages. And then others say, well, automation is the way to scale, and that everyone has to do it at some point. For some reason, and that's the path. These are the two audiences. So I just wanted to kind of understand from the audience here, what type of success have you seen with personalization versus automation? I.e. taking an automated campaign that goes out to 1,000 folks with a slightly canned message with maybe some personalization tokens versus a hyper-personalized video to, let's say, 100 people. Does the increase in lift, does the increase in conversion rate to that audience of 100 folks justify the fact that it does take more time than what it would take with an automated message to 1,000? So I'd love to get some notes. I'd love to get some feedback. We can continue to explore this topic.
Good. So this is always an ongoing debate too of like the personalization versus the pre-recorded. And it really, there's no one right answer. It is going to be completely dependent upon your allocation of resources, your ticket size, all those elements come into play when we're determining those fine lines, right? And it all comes back to at the end, the profitability and the scalability of that within our business. So we're always approaching this as well, because we have some really like executive high level accounts that we're after. But again, do we do personalization? Do we do the automation? It ends up coming down to a couple of those main questions where you have to balance that. What's the potential deal size we're looking at here? is it worth me doing a 30-second video? Chances are yes.
Yeah. So I'll just give you a practical example. 2 Fridays ago, my account was restricted.
Ooh.
Now, if you are sending automations out, I recommend you only do 30 a day, which is what I was doing. And if you want to know the tools that I use, happy to share those. Now, what they do is they do give you a slap across the knuckles, and then you get reinstated within the day. But believe me, it was a horrible day. I've got 15,000 followers, and to have your account restricted. And so I think I agree with both of you that for high ticket, I think automation is not the way. And if you're sending out more than 30 requests, look, some people say 75, some say 30, but if you're sending out more than 75 a day, you're at high risk now. They're really cracking down on this. The old theory used to be, hey, they won't really look at it too much because they love making money out of Sales Navigator, and they don't want to actually shoot themselves in the foot. But I think that's changing now. So be really careful with automation. I think it does, you can, I think there's a high chance your account will only be restricted for a day. So, you can run the risk, but I know for me, we've got a bit of a combination of both. So we've got a lower ticket item, which we do through some form of automation, but that's just speeding up my team sending those, the connection requests. And that's it. We don't do any other messages past that. And then I do the one-on-one as I showed you today. But look, it is buyer beware, and they seem to be hotter on it at the moment than what they have been in the past.
Very, very important stuff here, because I know we had a ton of questions about like Duck Soup or some other add-ons in there. So just be very aware of those limitations. That 30 a day is a huge, huge tip, guys. So don't just dump in, oh, I have 5,000 contacts, let's message them all. Don't do that. Okay. Great. So another really cool topic here from Suzanne Jones says, I was told not to use third-party sources on LinkedIn because LinkedIn favors doing it from their video. I love Dubb. What are your thoughts? So this is a great question. And for that, we absolutely recommend uploading the MP4 versions into LinkedIn natively. So the way that we're doing that is you're not taking the link from your Dubb video. You're going to download the original file, and then you're actually going to upload that into LinkedIn natively, just like everyone recommends. But then what you do is in the comment section of that native post, that's where you put the link to your Dubb video, say, to continue the conversation, click here. And that's when you can, say, hey, thanks so much for engaging with the video. If you'd love more information on this, you can schedule a call or write me or whatever you want. So that way we can really get the best of both, your personal kind of Dubb videos with the LinkedIn native uploads. So great topic, Suzanne. Thank you for bringing that up. Cool. What else we got? Paul, what are your favorite value add items when messaging on LinkedIn? Articles, surveys, what do you got?
Yeah, so the ones that I use at the moment, as I said, LinkedIn profile tips and also engagement. So that's very specific for my audience, but I love giving them videos. So I think articles, something that they've got to take a lot of time reading, I don't think works as well. So I think if you can do on a specific topic that is really relevant for your audience, just do a 5-minute mini masterclass on that topic. I think that's what works really well at the moment.
Nice. And again, guys, like that value add, those CTAs and those videos that you're adding to your pages, the idea is to get them to engage with your stuff so that you can begin to build that trust. You can begin to educate them. And of course, we can track it all in the back end. So you sent this video to a handful of people. You can actually see exactly who clicked on that value add, that case study, that document, or whatever it is. And then you can follow back up with them and say, hey, I saw you, checked out my video. Just wondering if you had any questions. I'd love to provide you more information about that. So that's, again, that the opportunity is to not only to educate and further inform and build trust, but also to track it on the back end. So you have some opportunities for your low-hanging fruit and knowing where to follow up. Yeah,
and just quick on that, a lot of your client conversations and your sales calls are going to give you that information. So all of those themes that keep propping up, just use one of those.
Okay, we got a really awesome story here. I have had an extreme success with video. I've made 20 to 80K in single sales of recruiting. I will choose people what to get and send them personalized videos like what I want. And this last year was I couldn't get talent and they would respond. So video was a solution for them in their recruiting space. We had a ton of recruiters using video because, it's a personal business. Again, you've got to create that trust that recruiting is super trust based. Yeah, you have their whole life in your hands, so they want to know that you're someone they can trust. So very good story. Thank you for that. I'm sorry we don't have your name. You're another one of the Inas. Though I'd give you credit for it there. Cool. Let's see what else we got. Let me see any other questions. How does he get their business email again, please? Okay, so there was two questions to think about this one, like step 2.8, I believe, Paul, where there was some confusion about when do we actually ask for the business email. I believe this is after the connection request is accepted, right?
Yeah, so it's in the video itself. So in the video, so they've already connected on LinkedIn. Then you go straight to their email, use the email and their contact information. Look, sometimes it's their business one, but if it's not, say, look, I'm sending it to the one that's public here on LinkedIn, which is your personal. Love you to reply with your business.
And this is in the video, guys. Yeah, so in the video you're sending after the connection request is approved, that's where you're asking for their more personal email so you can move the conversation.
Because you're doing everything to prove to them you're not a spammer. You're not one of those other people. You know, you're unique in the way that you're doing it.
Just like you want them to feel that same exact way. And that's why there's no way to fake a custom video. And they know that. Everyone still knows that. Until technology, we can do the deep fake thing where, you got a video of you that didn't really speak or something. Long way away. So we still got to do them personally. All right. Well, thank you guys so much. Thanks for attending. Can't wait to see you guys in our next webinar. Rock on, guys. Have a good one.
Thanks, guys.